Welcome back to Nation of Glory, the place where stories breathe, heroes rise, and legends walk across the screen not as characters but as living flames of passion. Today, I invite you to settle in, open your heart, and let the world around you fade away, because the story we are about to tell is one of identity, resilience, loyalty, and transformation. This is the journey of a man whose fire for wrestling began long before fame ever found him, a man the world came to know as Pete Dunne, but whose spirit stretched far beyond one name, one mask, or one destiny. And tonight, you get to live that journey with us. Peter Thomas England, the boy who would someday become Pete Dunne, never imagined his name echoing across arenas. He was born far from spotlight, growing up in England where the air was often cold but his ambitions burned warm, steady, and unshakable. As a child he didn't just dream of wrestling, he breathed it. While other kids played games, Pete studied movement. While others treated wrestling like entertainment, he treated it like a language. It wasn't something he watched, it was something he felt down to the bone. Every strike, every hold, every expression from the wrestlers he idolized lit sparks in him. And over time, those sparks became something stronger. The world didn't hand Pete Dunne passion. He fought for it. Through small shows, long nights, hard bruises, and endless repetitions, he forged himself into something sharp, precise, and unyielding. Nothing about his journey was easy. But everything about it was real. Pete wasn't the biggest competitor. He wasn't the loudest. What he did have was intensity, an intensity that felt almost ancient, like a warrior born out of grit and instinct. He trained not to impress others, but to battle himself, pushing past every limitation his body tried to impose. When other wrestlers wondered if they belonged, Pete trained like someone who knew he was meant for greatness long before anyone else could see it. As he grew, his name began to spread. Fans didn't just watch Pete, they felt him. His style wasn't pretty, it was honest. His strikes weren't for show. They were statements. His expression wasn't emotionless, it was composed, focused, locked in the moment like a predator studying opportunity. And then came the moment that changed everything, the moment WWE opened its doors to him. In April of 2017, Pete Dunne stepped into a wider world. A world where lights blinded. Where expectations strangled. Where millions of eyes watched your every move. But Pete didn't shrink from it. He absorbed it. He walked into WWE not as a newcomer hungry for approval, but as a warrior ready to carve his place in stone. Fans immediately understood something about him. He wasn't a copy of anyone else. He wasn't there to mimic styles or follow trends. He was raw, authentic, dangerous. He moved differently, spoke differently, fought differently. That difference became his strength. And in the chaos of WWE's ever-changing battlefield, that authenticity made him unforgettable. But the story doesn't end there. Because while Pete Dunne rose as a fierce competitor on the Raw brand, another identity brewed inside him. A second destiny, a part of himself waiting patiently in the shadows for its moment to rise. For within Pete lived more than one story. Behind the brutality, the stoicism, the fire of Pete Dunne existed a dreamer, an artist, and a lover of both technique and spectacle. And from that duality, another identity emerged. A mask, a spark of mystery, a new heartbeat. Rio Americano. When Pete first touched the mask that would become Rio Americano, he wasn't just holding fabric. He was holding transformation. He was holding possibility. The chance to express parts of himself that could never come. Through the raw, grounded brutality of Pete Dunne. Rio Americano wasn't a replacement for Pete Dunne. He was an expansion. A celebration of agility, color, speed, and heritage. A soul painted in motion rather than force. When Pete stepped into the ring as Rio Americano, his entire being shifted. The man known for striking became a man known for soaring. The man known for grit became a man known for energy. It was like discovering a hidden half of himself, one that had been whispering for years. Behind that mask, he wasn't constrained by expectations.